Hello viewers, welcome to UN College Digital Class. In today's class, I am going to discuss about operator overloading using friend function in C++ class. In the previous class of C++, already I have discussed what is the meaning of polymorphism, what is the meaning of compile time polymorphism, and also I have discussed about operator overloading. In this class, I am going to discuss about how operator overloading is implemented using friend function. Let's start. Operator overloading is a compile time polymorphism in which the operator is overloaded to provide the special meaning to the user defined data type. In the previous class I have discussed about function overloading in which we can use the same name to name more than one function. Similarly, in operator overloading we can use the operator in a special way or to use the operator in a different way. Okay, in this way we can overload the operator. Now I am going to discuss about some important points about operator overloading using friend function. In the previous class I have done some operator overloading program, but here I am going to discuss about how friend function can be used to overload operator. Friend function using operator overloading offers better flexibility to the class. These functions are not a member of the class and they don't have this pointer. Okay. When we overload a unary operator, we have to pass one argument. When we overload a binary operator, we have to pass two arguments. Friend function can access private member of a class directly. An overloaded operator friend could be declared in either private or public section of a class. Okay. When redefining the meaning of an operator by operator overloading using friend function, we cannot change its basic meaning. Okay, for example, we cannot redefine minus operator to divide two operands of user defined data type. Some operators that cannot be overloaded by a friend function, those are function call operator, assignment operator, class member access operator, and the subscripting operator. Those cannot be overloaded. Now I am going to discuss about one example of overloading unary minus operator. Now here the program is class A. Inside class A, the private section, then inside the private section I have used one int a variable, then in the public part I have used void set a, one method, member method, then another method, that is void get a. Okay, actually void set a I have used to set or to initialize or to put the value into the variable a, and void get a is used to extract the value or to get the value back. Friend A operator minus A. Here you can see that the operator function I have used is declared with the keyword friend, so that system can understand that the operator function is a friend function. It is returning object. The return type is A here, so it is returning the class or the object. Then operator minus. Operator minus, it is here, it is unary minus operator I have used. Okay. Then void a scope reduction operator set underscore a, that is the method. I am going to define the set a method. Inside set a method I have used the statement a equal to 10. Here also you can enter the value just like cout, enter a value c in a in this way. Then void a scope reduction operator get a method. Inside get a method simply I have used the statement cout a. Okay, so that we can get the value of a. Then here I have defined the friend operator function as a operator minus a ob. Here ob is the object, then oba equal to minus ob dot a. Okay, then return ob. Inside the main method, what I have done, OB, I have used an object and the name of the object is OB. Then OB.set A, I am calling the set A method. And as you can see that inside the set A method, the value is set as 10. It is better that when you will run this program, it is better just enter some value instead of putting constant value. That will be more better. Then just to show you the value is set inside the object, I have used or I have called the method ob.getA. Then ob equal to minus ob. Okay, when we are writing ob equal to minus ob, exactly what happens, let me use the pen here. When we are writing this particular statement ob equal to minus ob, at that time the operator function will be executed. It means that this portion will be executed, that is the operator unary minus function. And inside the function the variable of ob will be changed to minus by adding minus unary minus, and in this way this particular statement will execute this operator function. Okay, and when we are writing the statement ob.getA, at that time instead of 10 we will get the value minus 10 because the operator overloading is performed. Now I am going to discuss about overloading binary operator, that is multiplication, using friend function. The previous one is the unary operator. Now we will discuss about binary operator overloading. Let's start the program. Class A. Then inside class A, in the private section, I have used one variable, that is int A. And in the public part, I have used void set underscore A, then void get underscore A. Set underscore A is a method used to initialize some value into the variable A, and get underscore A is used to display the value. Okay. Then I have used the friend function, friend operator overloading function, as friend A operator. A is the return type. Let me use the pen here so that you can understand this particular. This is a friend function. Here the keyword friend we have used. Then A is the return type. Then operator is the keyword. Operator is the function. It's a special function. Then multiplication is the symbol which we want to overload. Then A comma A. It means that here we are passing two object of class A, so that friend function can implement multiplication operator overloading. But in case of if we will use a simple operator overloading without using friend, in that case we will use only one variable, not two. Okay, this is the difference of using friend function and not using friend function in between. Okay, then in the void set A method, I have defined the void A scope resolution operator set underscore A method, and here I have used the statement A equal to 5. It is better just use C out, enter a number, then C in A. That will be more better. Then void A scope resolution operator get underscore A. Here just I have displayed the value C out A. Then A operator multiplication symbol, then A ob1, A ob2. Okay, then A temp. Here I have used one third variable, third object, that is temp. Then temp dot A equal to ob1 dot A into ob2 dot A. Then return temp. Inside the int main method, I have used two object ob1 and ob2. ob1 dot set underscore A, it means that here the value of A inside ob1 will be 5. As inside the set underscore A method we have used the statement A equal to 5, that's why. Then ob2 dot set underscore A, here also the value will be 5, same 5. Then ob3 equal to ob1 into ob2. Let me use the pen here. when we are writing this particular statement, what will happen? This coding will be executed. Okay, and here OB1 and OB2 will be passed and will be stored with this particular object, and inside the operator function a temp, and temp a equal to ob1 dot a into ob2 dot a, it means that 5 into 5, and temp a will contain 25, and when we are returning temp, the value will be stored at ob3, so that when we will write the statement ob3 dot get underscore a, we will get 25. I hope you have got some clear concept about binary operator overloading using friend function. Okay. Now I am going to discuss about type conversion in C++. A typecast is basically a conversion from one type to another. There are two types of type conversion. Let's start the discussion about the different types of type conversion. Implicit type conversion, also known as automatic type conversion, done by the compiler on its own without any external trigger from the user. Okay. Generally, it takes place when in an expression more than one data type is present. In such condition, type conversion takes place, type promotion takes place to avoid loss of data. All the data types of the variable are upgraded to the data type of the variable with the largest data type. I will explain this by giving one example. In this example, here I have explained int main. Then inside the main method, I have used int x equal to 10, then one character variable char y equal to a, then the statement x equal to x plus y. Okay, here you can see that y is a character variable whereas x is one int type, and here we are performing addition operator. Here what happens, x is implicitly converted to float z in this statement exactly. Okay, but here what happened, y is implicitly converted into int type. The y value, y contains a, and a value is ASCII value is 97. So when we are using the statement x equal to x plus y, it means that 10 plus 97. Okay, in this way it will happen, and the value of x will be 107. Okay, then in the next statement, float z equal to x plus 1.0, at this point what will happen, x is implicitly converted to float. Okay, and this type of conversion is called as implicit typecasting. Here the user not having to take any sort of headache. It is the job of the compiler. Compiler will look after the matter. If you are doing any sort of expression, and in the expression if there are different data types, then the data type will be converted to the upgraded data type. It means that when in the expression x equal to x plus y, we are using x is one int type, y was one character type, y is automatically converted to int type, character is automatically upgraded to int. Similarly, in the next statement, when we are using float and int is automatically converted to float type. Actually, I want to clear one point here, that the value is converted, not the variable. X contains the same value, but at the time of calculation the value will be incremented or upgraded to int or upgraded to float. Okay, in this way the output, the typecasting will be performed. I hope you have got a clear concept on implicit typecasting. Okay, then we will discuss about explicit type conversion. This process is also called as typecasting, and it is user defined. Here the user can typecast the result to make it of a particular data type. In C++, it can be done by two ways. First one is Converting by assignment. This is done by explicitly defining the required type in front of the expression in a parenthesis. This can also be considered as forceful casting. Okay. Here also I have used one example so that you can clear on this concept. In this example, int main inside the main method double x equal to 1.2. Now what we will do, I am writing the statement here, int sum equal to int x plus 1. Here what we have done, we have used explicit typecasting. Here you can see that int x is a double type and we want that x should be converted to int type, and for that reason we are using this type of statement here, int inside the parenthesis, and this is called as explicit typecasting. Then when we will get the output, when we will display the value of sum, we will get one int value. But if instead of it, if we will use it just without using any int, then implicit typecasting will be performed. Okay, now conversion using cast operator. A cast operator is an unary operator which forces one data type to be converted into another data type. C++ supports 4 types of casting. What are those? Static cast, dynamic cast, constant cast, reinterpret cast. Okay. Here also I have used one example so that you can clear on the concept of cast operator. Okay. Has include IOStream using namespace std int main inside the main method, float f equal to 3.5, int a equal to f. Actually this particular type of statement we are using previously in C programming. Here what happens, a will contain only 3, okay, and 0.5 will be discarded. This is implicit typecasting exactly. But by using cast operator we can write in this way, int b equal to static underscore cast int inside the angle bracket then f. This is the syntax of using, this is the way we can use the cast operator to typecast one data type into another data type. Then cout b, so that here you can get the output. Actually this is the basic type of typecasting or type conversion, explicit type conversion. I hope you have got some clear concept on two different types of typecasting, implicit and explicit typecasting. Now we will discuss about the advantages of type conversion. This is done to take advantage of certain feature of type hierarchy or type representation. It helps to compute expression containing variables of different data types. In this class, we have discussed about operator overloading using friend function along with type conversion. In the coming class, I am going to discuss about type conversion or type casting in details. In that class, I will discuss how one data type, predefined data type, can be converted into class type and vice versa. I hope you have got some clear concept in this class, but still if you have any doubt, then please write to me in the comment box so that I can clear your doubt. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great time.